इस्तेमाल होता है। तो क्या आप अकेले थे कि और भी लोग आपके साथ थे जंगल में?
नहीं अकेले।
I was alone. There was nobody else with me.
हाँ ये स्पिरिचुअल बॉडी दूसरों की थी, मदद करती थी, जहर में मैं अकेले था।
जिसका physically I was alone, but there were other spiritual bodies who assisted me spiritually.
Could you see them?
आप उनको देख सकते थे?
हाँ, अक्सर देखता था।
Yes, often I would see them.
वो बातें भी करती थी।
They would talk to me also.
Did the Lord talk through them or through by himself?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Did the Lord talk through them or by himself?
By himself.
Himself.
So हम पूछ रहे हैं जब अल्लाह ने आपसे गुफ्तगू की तो इन वो जो मखलूकों के ज़रिए की जो स्पिरिचुअल बॉडीज या बुजुर्ग आते थे कि बराह रास्त उसने की?
नहीं, सबसे पहले ना मखलूकों के जरिए पैगाम मिलते थे, लेकिन ऐसा होता था कि कभी पैगाम वही होता था, कभी मखलूक दूसरा कह देती थी, हमको समझ नहीं लगता था। उसमें कभी शैतानी मखलूक आ जाती, कभी रहमानी मखलूक आ जाती, वो कानों में आवाज़ें आती।
Initially it was through the spiritual bodies, but what the problem with that was, I would receive messages from God from these spiritual bodies, but then sometimes it would be very confusing because the message from God was one message, but what they would actually tell me was something else, and sometimes the messages were from good, and sometimes from evil. They would get confused.
एक दफ़ा एक आता उसी शक्ल में कि यहाँ से चला जा, आगे चला जा, जब जा रहा होता फिर उसी शक्ल में आता, किधर जा रहा, कि तुमने जो कहा था, कहता हम तो नहीं था।
Yes, sir. Sometimes what would happen, I would see a spiritual body, an image, and it would say to me, "Right, you have to go to this place." And when I would embark upon that journey, I would see that same face again during the journey, and it would ask me, "Where are you going?" And I would say, "To this place." And it would say, "Why?" I said, "Because you told me to do so." And it would say, "I didn't."
तो वो इस वजह से करते हैं कि मैं एक जगह बैठा था ना, ताकि इसके काम में दाखिल तो इसी में उलझा रहा।
Yes, sir. And this was happening because some spiritual bodies started to interfere with my efforts and progress, so that I would remain confused and pay my attention more to them than my objective.
फिर एक दफ़ा एक साईं ने कहा कैसा कर तू दरिया में छलांग लगा जा।
Yes, sir. Then at one time a saint said to me, "Right, get up and go and jump in this river."
मैं इस शक्ल पे लगाऊंगा जब मुझे यकीन होगा कि वाकई तुम सही हो, मुझे यकीन ही तुम सही हो या वो सही है।
Yes, sir. Then I replied that I will only do that once I'm completely satisfied that this is from the truth. Now I don't know that whether you're right or whether the other spiritual bodies are right.
तो फिर थोड़ी देर में दूसरा आ गया, उसने कहा ये जो तुमको कह रहा है दरिया में छलांग लगाओ, ये तुमको मरवाने के लिए कह रहा है, वो शैतान है।
Yes, sir. Then I saw another spiritual body a few moments later, and it said to me that this spiritual body that said to you to jump in the river, this is only doing that to get rid of you. It's Satan.
फिर वो चला गया, फिर वो पहले वाला है कि तूने अभी छलांग नहीं लगाई, अल्लाह का हुक्म है छलांग लगा जा।
Then the second spiritual body disappeared. Then the first one returned, and he said to me, "You're still here? Haven't you jumped in the water yet? It's the command of God that you jump in the river."
मैंने कहा अभी तो तुम आया, तुम कहता था नहीं लगाना, इसी शक्ल में आता था ना।
Yes,
तो
sir.
कहता वो शैतान था।
And then he used to come in the same image, and then it said to me that दोबारा फरमाना सवाल।
उसी शक्ल में फिर वो आया।
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो कहने लगा कि वो जो था ना वो शैतान था।
Yes, sir. It came in the image of the second spiritual person and said, "Oh, he was Satan." Meaning they would accuse each other of being Satan. There would be two different spiritual bodies, but they would come in the same image.
हम सोच रहा था कि इनकी मदद के बगैर
Yes, sir.
चल भी नहीं सकता और इनकी शनाख्त भी नहीं होगी, क्या करें अब हम।
So then I thought to myself that I can't actually proceed spiritually without their help, but at the same time I'm unable to recognize them. So what should I do?
हाँ, किसकी बात माने।
Yes, sir. Who shall I be?
तो उस वक्त फिर हमको बताया गया था, हमारे इस दिल पे आवाज़ आई थी
Yes, sir. At that point I was told, and I heard a voice on my heart,
कि जो अल्लाह का वली होगा ना, उसकी कमर के ऊपर ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह लिखा होगा।
Yes, sir. Then I was told that whomsoever is a friend of God, a saint, you will see written on his back, La ilaha illallah.
फिर जब कोई हुक्म देता हम उसकी कमर देखते हैं ना तो कलमा लिखा होता, फिर हम उसका हुक्म मान
Yes,
लेते।
sir. Thereafter that whomsoever would come to me and command me to do something, I would look at their back to see if it was written. If it was written, then I would listen to them.
शैतान क्या कहता है, वो भी से कलमा लिख के आ जाता, लेकिन वो जो सेंट होता है ना उसमें उभरा हुआ नसों से खुदा हुआ होता और उसमें वैसे लिखा होता.
And then what Satan did, he would actually appear and have the kalima written on his back. But the difference was that the friends of God, the saints, the kalima that was written on their back, it was actually in the meat and it would appear from the nervous system within the nerves. Whereas on the back of Satan's back, it would just be written on the surface of the skin.
उसके बाद फिर जो पैगाम आते हैं ना, तो फिर वो दिल में आते, दिल में तहरीर आती, फिर इधर आते, फिर ज़ुबान से निकलते.
Because thereafter the messages that I received, they would first come in the form of a script on my heart, and then they would move to the center of my chest, to the spiritual body, and from there they would come out of my mouth.
अगर बाज़ शैतान की तरफ से आते तो वहीं जल्दी आते ना, तो जल्दी यहीं जल जाते, खत्म हो जाते.
Because many times I would receive some messages in the form of a script from Satan on my heart. They would come in great hurry, and then they would quickly diminish and fade away.
तो जो अल्लाह की तरफ से आते हैं ना, तो वो आके और तेज होते और चमकते, और अल्लाह भी और तेज होती, पूरे जिस्म में अल्लाह शुरू हो जाती. यहाँ से आते थे वो ज़ुबान खुद बोलती.
And those messages that I received from God, I was able to tell that they would come in the form of a script on my heart, and then they would shine like the sun. And at the same time, my heartbeat used to go very fast. Allah used to go very fast all over my body. My whole body used to say Allah. Then they used to move to the center of my chest, and I was able to speak that script.
जो अल्लाह की तरफ से होता है ना, वो इस तरीके से होता है.
So that message that was received from God, that was from God, it came in this way.
तो बाकी एंजल के जरिए भी हो सकता है.
And the other messages can be conveyed by the angels.
So when you really have Allah in the heart, you can really decipher then the truths.
So पूछें कि जब अल्लाह दिल के अंदर आ जाता है, ये जिक्र, उस वक्त ये मुमकिन है कि सच और झूठ की पहचान हो जाए इस तरीके से.
शुरू में नहीं होती है ना,
इसका not in the beginning.
जब बिल्कुल अंदर लाइट आ जाती है ना, तो फिर मतलब पहचान होती है.
Because when the light completely comes inside, when it's mature and completed, it's not in the beginning though.
तो बहुत से लोग हैं जिनको इसी तरह कानों में आवाज़ आती है, उस कहते हैं हमको अल्लाह ने आवाज़ दी, फिर गुमराह हो जाते हैं.
So there are many people that similarly hear voices in their ears and they say, oh, God spoke to us, and then they become misguided and deceived.
क्योंकि इस लाइन में चलने के लिए पहले इल्म ज़रूरी है ना, इल्म सीख के चले ना, पर मार नहीं खाता ना. जैसा दरिया में तैरने जाने के लिए तैरना इल्म ज़रूरी है, वरना डूब जाएगा ना.
To travel in this path, on this line, it is therefore important, necessary